Hello, I'm John Colquitt, the Agriscience teacher here at Marbury High School. And I'm coming to you today to give you some introductory remarks about our Agriscience program here at Marbury. Like I said, my name is John Colquitt. I've been teaching Agriscience for 24 years total, and I've been here at Marbury High School for 21 years. So I've been doing it quite a while. I wanted to tell you just a little bit about the courses I teach. I'm limited now to just teaching 4 courses, but they include Fish and Wildlife Management, the most popular course I have, Agricultural Communications, the Environmental Management, and also Forestry. And I'll tell you a little bit about how we'll begin each day of our classes. First of all, I have some of our student officers in our program to begin each day. A student will come up in front of the class, and then he'll read the instructions for the class to get each one started every day. Of course, this course is an elective. Being an elective, it's one of those courses they don't have to take, but it certainly can be beneficial to them. I'll need to get some information from the students, like, of course, their name and address and phone numbers, perhaps, and email addresses, because a lot of what we're going to be doing this semester will be done on the computer. Much of the information that we use there will be for class, or all of it will be. And I'll tell you a little bit about how I'll be teaching the classes this and next semester, since we're on the 7-period day. First of all, I am going electronic, as we say, trying to put as much of those things that I use in class on the internet and have those things available to students on the computers so they can have easy access to those things. I'll be using PowerPoints a lot. Many of the PowerPoints that we have available through some of the services that we have and through our FFA we'll be using in class, and they'll be looking at those PowerPoints and then of course taking notes on those things. In addition to that, we'll also use emails for making up tests and for giving the students information ahead of time. And that certainly will be a benefit to them. One big advantage of this is that I'm going to give the student workbooks that we used to have in paper form, of course. I'm going to be giving them those through the internet, and they'll be able to have those on the computer at home and also be able to have access to that on the internet as well. So that will be a big advantage for the students to be able to go back instead of having to wonder where their workbook is. Then they'll be able to go to the internet and get that information. So that's one of the big advantages of it. The tests will be on there. They'll have much of the material there. So it will certainly be an advantage for all of our students to be able to have that. Now, if you don't have an email, we'll make those available for the students, and we can do that here in class. And of course, we'll be using SchoolTube a lot. Many of the presentations that we'll do and we'll look at and view from there will be put on there so that the students can learn from other students that have done those things in the past. Some things that we'll have to answer about the courses. First of all, what courses of ag the students have taken in the past, because we don't need any duplications being done. That's the worst scenario we could have, because we don't need to have students duplicating those courses because they can't get credit for the same course twice. And we also need to know what we're going to strive to accomplish in this course this and next semester. So it's very important that we realize that and can see it. Like any other course, we have goals in here that I'll go through. First of all, I'll try to be and have as high a quality instruction as I possibly can, and having the experience that I have and trying to change some things up. Hopefully that will benefit us all. We need to, one of the most important aspects of the program in my estimation is for each student to improve as a person. I think that is of the utmost importance. In addition, they'll have opportunities that will be available to the students to do some travel and do some things outside of class that is very different from some of the other programs or classes that they'll take here at Marbury. We intend to have the best Agriscience program in Alabama, and we'll be talking about that a little more later, but that is our lofty goal. And this course is very important because agriculture is important. The career outlook for the future, I'm told now, is better than it's ever been for those that have been professionally trained in agriculture for the future. So there are a lot of good reasons that we have this program and some of the goals that I have in the courses. Hopefully we will be able to meet all of those. Also, I'll continue to adapt our instruction somewhat to meet the needs of the students. We'll emphasize the importance of developing the individual student, because I believe that God gives everyone individual talents, and we'll try to develop those. In addition, they're going to be exposed to many opportunities that are available to our young people in the Agriscience and FFA program here at school. We're going to have many students involved in a lot of events here at Marbury High School. We have in the past and will continue to do that in the future. We've met many of the goals that we've set before us in the past. We've had a number of students that have been involved at the local, area, state, and national levels in our team CDE career development events. We've had 9 teams to go to the nationals from our chapter. We have a number of individual career development events that students can get involved in, from projects that they have to public speaking and a lot of other things that are available to them. In addition to that, we've had a number of students to be actively involved in fairs, showing livestock, giving and turning in fair exhibits that many of our students have had a great deal of success in. It's going to be important to develop leadership. We've had both district, state officers in our program and national delegates, so it's important for us to develop that leadership at our level. In addition to that, we'll be doing chapter activities that all the students can participate in. So hopefully they will find their niche in their area, or find several of these that they would like to become active in. So it's important that we point that out, and that there are a lot of opportunities scholastically for scholarships later for students that get involved in our program and go on to higher achievement in our program. So as we move on to another area, one of the things that's important that we stress in class is taking notes. Now, a lot of times young people don't like to take notes, but it's proven that those students that actively take notes are able to keep more attention in the class and are able to learn more. So it's very important that they bring something to write with and on each and every day. You're going to be getting a letter to the parents about our program and all of these things that we've been talking about here today, about the fees, the trips, the course requirements, all of those things. The fees for the class will be $35, and you'll have in that letter what is required and where that money goes. Also, in addition to that, you're going to get a parental survey where I can find some things out and have some resources from some of the parents that have been very important in our program in the past. Now, like any other class, I have some do's and don'ts, and to help the class move more smoothly and to make it more of a learning environment for all. As I said, the students need to bring materials every day. They need to come in and take a seat and begin to prepare themselves for class instruction. In addition, they need to listen attentively. That's one of the things that I will stress. They need to raise their hand if they would like to say something. In addition to that, they don't need to cause any distractions with eating or drinking. And take care of our room. We have a brand new school that we're very proud of, and new equipment inside the room, and we need to take care of that. And they need to be on time for class each and every day. And of course, be kind and courteous to everyone in the class, and everything will go well. One thing I'd like to stress this year that has become a big problem at all high schools all throughout the country are phones, iPods, electronic devices that have caused us a lot of problems in classes. If I see it, I'm going to send it to the office, and that's the policy that we have here at the school and the one that I will continue to maintain. So those are some of the do's and don'ts that we'll have in general practices in the class. All right, as we move on here, we need to remember some things. The young people need to remember why they're here, their purpose, in other words. To respect everything that we have here in the classroom, and not to be derogatory toward each other, because that never fosters a good environment. In addition, they don't need to talk while I'm talking, or while another student has the floor to be able to talk. And they don't need to, as we go outside and do activities outside, maybe have to look for them and to wonder where they are. They need to stay with the group continually. And certainly they need to respect my space as I will respect theirs. And remember that if they're going to get in trouble, that they need to understand what the punishments are if that happens, and to be able to understand those things and take them. Of course, in the past, I've had students that have done push-ups, and the young ladies have done the chair in the past. That's a choice that they do. They can take those things up with the office if that's what they would rather do. So it's always been a choice on that. But I don't like students getting up and moving around in class because that causes a distraction, going to the trash can or whatever it may be. Certainly they need to understand that the classroom is set in a specific way for a specific reason, and they don't need to move things around in here. So as we move on, they don't need to damage anything, and certainly they need to take pride in their school and don't cut down our program or our school, because we have so much to be proud of. With regard to the final exam that will come at the end of the year, I have a policy that everyone takes the exam. Now, I do give a part of that early that they can take if they're involved in activities, but they can also, as they earn those activities, they won't have to come and take it later. But that's the way, and that will be shown in the workbook and in our class instructions. Hopefully these courses that we have here at Marbury will be beneficial to everyone as we move on. We will have a fish and wildlife management class that will, of course, entertain hunting and fishing and wildlife habitat management, environmental science that will relate to the soil and air and water. Forestry, we'll be looking at trees and the lumber industry and the paper industry. Agricultural communications, which will emphasize general communications and also group communications. But along with that, with agricultural issues, and we will have parliamentary procedure in that class, which will be greatly emphasized. The questions we need to answer, of course, are important, that we don't duplicate anything, that we have different courses, and we will decide what courses we teach in the class as the students get in, because it just says Agriscience on the program. Hopefully we'll have a high-quality instructional program, and I hope each student will improve as a person as we go along. In addition to that, as we move along, all of our students need to have many opportunities that will avail themselves to them in our program that we've discussed earlier. And I hope to continually adapt everything so that they can gain the most out of our program as they take leadership roles like being a class or chapter officer or even a district or state officer one day, which many of our students can do. And students get credit for these things. In addition, we have other things that they can do as we move on. We've met many of those goals in the past, as you know, and hopefully we will continue to have the kinds of students that will like to reach out and achieve many goals that are available to them. Students will begin the course by doing FFA opening ceremonies. All of our students do that. We'll look at some general things about agriculture in the beginning of all the courses, how agriculture provides for our human needs, and agriculture in Alabama. We'll look at the FFA, its history, and everything associated with it, the team events we have in the FFA, the individual events in the FFA, our SAE projects, which are required of all of our students to have an agricultural project at home that we'll have an activity with, and also, of course, leadership development. Remember that this course is unique, and with it being an elective course, we're going to do some outside activities, so I stress that the students dress appropriately, and I will tell you ahead of time when we'll be going outside and doing things. Sometimes we actually get dirty, but that's one of the best ways we learn by doing, so that's one of the important aspects of our program. We'll do public presentations in front of other people. That's the best way to learn to do that. In addition to all students are required to do these activities, it isn't a choice because this is an elective and those things are required. It's designed for the students to succeed, but they have to participate to be able to do that, and having a good attitude is so vital.
Mr. Colquitt, if you're still in the building,
forward to having you in
speech?
class, and I hope that if the parents would please call or email me if you have any questions, and I hope that each of us have a good year. You'll have all of this information available to you, and I look forward to meeting you in the future. Thank you.